Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, we turn our attention now to security. We've got Mr. Dennis Amachree, former Assistant Director with the DSS. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Happy Independence.
Yeah, thank you. We do know that without security, it's impossible to do almost anything, either from politics to even the infrastructure development or the economy. But if you look at how we fared over time, we know that ever since independence, we've had different bodies. We've had civil defense. They've come on stream. In fact, when they come on stream without arms, eventually they argued about it. Some of them bear arms now. We know that different states, they've got from traffic control units, the CCUs, to the neighborhood watches. They're all there. Different states setting up different things, but we still haven't agreed on whether or not we should get the framework for state police. So, from your assessment, in terms of how we've approached the security question in this country, how would you say we fared?
I think we started it without having a well-defined framework. And just like you mentioned, we're having all kinds of security agencies in there, and without the right orientation. And it has caused a lot of problems for us, because right from independence, you find out that when we first got our first police force, the Hausa Constabulary here in Lagos, they were just there to protect the colonialists. And now when those people left, the politicians came, and they continued in that frame of mind, instead of thinking that they are Nigerians and they're going to give services to Nigeria. So you find out that all the security agencies were created from the police, of course, and without the right orientation, like I said.
But some have also suggested that the police, from where these agencies were created, have been grossly discriminated against.
Yes.
Some think that, look, with the advent of the military interregnum, even to date, they don't see the police perform the primary function, even though they've got the reach to get to different parts of this country, that we have not paid them the right attention to warrant results that we all expect.
Yes, because you find out that the police was created not for the people, but for certain people in the country. Instead of a police service, we're having a police force. And you find out that in a country, basically our major issue now is bad governance. And of course, if these institutions, especially the law enforcement institutions, are not strengthened, then, you will find all these problems popping up one way or the other.
When you say strengthen,
yes,
what do you mean?
Well, you have to well-equipped a police force, or train them properly, accommodate them, give them good benefits, and that is strengthening. And then give them what to work with.
Well-equipped training. Let's go back to, so we're talking about manpower.
We're talking about not only manpower, but the orientation.
When what should be the starting point? Recruitment, training, equipment.
Yes, it should be recruitment, training, and equipment. And during the recruitment phase, it is very, very essential that they be given the orientation of what they are supposed to do for the people.
What are they supposed to do?
They are supposed to protect lives and property. Now, that job itself is not well defined, because sometimes you go to the police, okay, like something is being investigated, and you go to a policeman and he said, how far about it? And he said, well, we are still investigating. And he said, you people are wasting time. What is going on? And I said, you want to teach me my job? Because he feels that you are encroaching on his mentality, so to say. He does not believe that he's there to serve you. And that means his orientation is quite skewed away from...
Is that just about the police, believing they're not there to serve us? Isn't that what cuts across security agencies in this country?
In a way. Well, for the intelligence agencies, you say that, they are on track, so to say.
Are they?
Really?
Yes, they are.
Is it because that's your constituency?
They are.
They used to be?
Well, I think for my own constituency, I can tell you that they are on track. Some of the security agencies are not, because they have been diluted with politics. And that is the major issue again in Nigeria, where we've misused the security agencies by bringing them into politics, put them right in the middle of it, and they cannot run away, you know. So when they are diluted like that, it becomes a big problem for the country, because then they are not working for the country but for certain people.
But don't they have a choice, the security professionals themselves?
Yes.
Is it that when they throw them in there, they just have to do that? I thought that if they don't like it, they have to speak up either or leave the position.
Yes, leaving the position is still open. If you don't like what is going on, you resign. And I know many colleagues of mine who were not happy with certain things and they resigned and left. But at the same time, for speaking up, that will go back to how they were formed. You know, Decree 19 of 1983 that formed the or the SSS, for instance. You know, if you look at it, they are supposed to report to the president or take orders from the president and the National Assembly. But the one for National Assembly is very, very quiet, and the president's side of it is very, very prominent. That means that if the president commits any crime, he cannot be arrested.
So how then do you say that they are on the part of the people when it appears as though the core objective that set them up is against the people, just answerable to the top dogs?
No, the thing is that they are supposed to gather intelligence for the internal security for Nigeria. So the intelligence they gather, they also disseminate. They could give to police, they give to the military, they give to the president.
They give to the police?
Yeah, they do. But you see, one thing is that, okay, that's another story, because sometimes some of the intelligence are not being given out because you have to handle any intelligence that is given to you very, very properly. If you go ahead and divulge the sources of how you got that intelligence, it might compromise certain agents.
Do they give to state governors?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
All right, let's go to break. We'll come back to this in just a moment. Stay with us. What do you think we should do to get security sorted in this country?
I think we have to go back to the fundamentals and then look at the root causes of what really happened. Because if you look at the major security problems we have in the country right now, Boko Haram, the militancy in the South, and then of course kidnapping, violent crimes,
farmers,
and farmers grazing things and stuff like that, caused because of desertification. And then, of course, electoral violence, you know, credible and fair, free and fair elections. These are the security threats that we face in Nigeria today. And if we can address those ones properly, then we are home free.
Does everything rise and fall with leadership? Political leadership in this case? I
think it rise and fall with good governance and effective leadership. Because right now, one of the major issues, you can see that the government is trying. If you look at what the president was saying today, he was actually mentioning all the threat areas. But what is missing there is the elimination of corruption, which must be
among security agencies?
Among the whole society. You know, corruption, and fighting it has to be transparent and accountable. It has to be transparent. And if it is not transparent, people start to have a different opinion about what is going on. Because you must have the people on your side for you to fight it. You cannot fight it by being on this side and us and them kind of situation does not work.
Do you think that they do? What about the citizens? Do they feel that they still us and them?
Yes, they do, especially with the police, for instance. Remember, Robert Peel, who is the man that formed the Metropolitan Police, had said it. The people are the police, and the police are the people. But here, they are us and them in the sense that they are not serving the people, and the people are far away from them. There is this distrust between the police and the people. And if you can get that together, then we're heading somewhere.
That'll be food for thought, something we should actually focus on to get it sorted out. We appreciate your comment on this morning. Mr. Dennis Amachree is a former assistant director with the DSS. And happy Independence Day. Hope you enjoy your day today.
Happy Independence for our country.
All right, well, yes, it may be Independence Day, but this too, in Lagos, is going to be a big one. I think we can call it a straight fight between two candidates who are seeking to get the party's nod. The current governor of Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode, and the man who they say is going head-to-head with him. In fact, he said he's going to get the tickets, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So all eyes will be focused on them, on one hand, in Lagos. But while they are that, back here in the office at Channels, tonight by 7 up until 9:30 p.m. at the amphitheater, there will be a special, and that will be, there'll be a panel, special panel. There'll be a studio audience and live guests. It will be focused on the special Independence Day. You don't want to miss any part of that one. So we'll implore you to also have your station locked at that time. So that's the show today. We thank you all for watching. We'll have to go out there and see what we could do for ourselves in just a moment. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
I am Gimba Umar. And I'm Neota Igbe. Happy.
Thanks for watching and happy Independence Day. I am Ajuri Ngelale.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on this program are those of the maker and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, and endorsement of Channels Television.